Welcome back to Top X Mystery Research Channel. In this world, there are some places that are shrouded in mystery, with legends passed down for centuries. Those places has plenty of ghost sightings, strange unexplained phenomena, and creepy experiences. Whether they are steeped in their tragic pasts, or just haunted for an unknown reason, here are the 10 most eerie places you must avoid. Pechi Island is one of the most famous cursed islands in the world. It is a small uninhabited island in the Detroit River in Canada. In the late 18th century, a French-Canadian family named Lafauret established a homestead on the island. They lived on the island in peace with the natives. By 1883, however, the family was involved in a real estate dispute with a businessman named Hiram Walker, who later forced the Lafaurets to leave the island. As she left the island, Rosalie Lafauret supposedly cursed the land, saying, "No one will ever do anything with the island." The Walkers then built an enormous mansion on Pechi Island. However, their victory was short-lived as they all died soon after. Since then, the island has been uninhabited. Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb in the middle of the pyramid is perhaps the most famous curse of all. This is the tomb of the 19-year-old pharaoh. All who enter, be they bandits or archaeologists, are said to be afflicted by bad luck, illness, or violent death. Belief in this curse dates back to Howard Carter's 1922 expedition to find Tut's tomb, but his discovery gave the legend new life. The first to die was the canary, which is said to have taken Carter's grave to a hidden location. Some say it was eaten by a cobra, the symbol of Egyptian royalty, while others say it wasn't even killed, but given to a friend. Shortly after, Lord Carnarvon, Carter's financial backer, died from an infected mosquito bite. By 1935, 20 deaths were attributed to the curse. This former World War II railway building and prison is probably the most haunted place in Indonesia. Built by Dutch colonialists in the early 1900s, Lawang Sewu, meaning thousand doors, was the headquarters of the Dutch East India Railway Company before the Japanese turned it into an internment camp. During the war, many harsh interrogations, tortures and violent executions took place within the walls of the building. Among the many ghosts described here, the most popular are Dutch women, headless spirits, and the kuntilanak, a female vampiric ghost in Malaysian and Indonesian mythology. Pripyat is a ghost town in northern Ukraine that has been completely abandoned since the worst nuclear accident in Chernobyl, which forced the evacuation of all the city's residents. Witnesses to the disaster are said to have seen a mysterious large black bird a few minutes earlier, perhaps warning of the horror to come. The 50,000 residents of Pripyat had less than 2 hours to pack up all their worldly possessions and leave. The sense of urgency is still maintained through the sight of abandoned possessions and the hasty rummaging through furniture. Power plant workers began reporting a large black bird-like creature or a headless man with a 20-foot wingspan and red eyes. The creature later became known as the Black Bird of Chernobyl, and anyone who allegedly came into contact with the creature continued to have terrifying nightmares for days. Known as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania, the place in northwestern Romania is considered the most haunted forest in the world. Ever since a military technician captured a photo of a UFO hovering over the forest in 1968, Hoyobasayu has gained paranormal fame around the world. Some believe it is a portal that makes visitors disappear. Those who passed through the forest reported rashes, nausea, strong feelings of anxiety and being watched while traveling through the trees. Some of the more common sightings include ghosts, unexplained apparitions, faces seen in photographs that could not be seen with the naked eye, and even some UFOs. The eerie crooked trees that populate the forest only add to the eerie atmosphere. Less than half a kilometer from the canals of Venice, Povglaya Island was a quarantine zone for bubonic plague, a Napoleonic weapons depot, and the site of an early 20th century insane asylum. The asylum hosted gruesome medical experiments, and was eventually closed for good when a doctor fell from the facility's bell tower. Locals still claim to hear the bells echoing off the island, even though the bell was removed decades ago. It is forbidden to visit Poglia today, but you can safely see the island and the crumbling hospital from the shores of the nearby Lido. Built by General David Bradford in 1796, Myrtle's Plantation is considered one of the most haunted places in America. Rumor has it that the house sits on top of an Indian burial ground and is inhabited by at least 12 different spirits. Legends and ghost stories abound, including the story of a former slave named Chloe, who had her ear cut off after being caught eavesdropping. She got her revenge by poisoning a birthday cake and killing 2 of the plantation owner's daughters, but was then hanged by her fellow slaves. Chloe is now said to wander around the plantation, wearing a turban to cover her cut ear. After a long downpour in the spring of 1780, when the overcrowded cemetery of Les Innocents flooded and was exposed, a wave of rotting corpses fell on the adjacent farm. The horrific event began as a 12-year project to move corpses from Paris cemeteries to the city's former limestone quarries, eventually filling the underground tunnels with the remains of more than 6 million people. Today, about a kilometer away from the underground labyrinth, there are tunnels with bones cleverly arranged. It is said that the spirits of countless dead still lurk in the shadows, and some have even been caught on tape. Many parts of the catacomb network remain unexplored. There are many caves, traps, and it's basically an underground maze that goes for miles, with what is said to be a portal to hell at its deepest point. Parador de Jaén is an Arab fortress from the 18th century that overlooks the Andalusian landscape. Behind its mighty walls, hide some scary stories. According to the hotel's website, a guest staying in room 22 was rudely awakened one night by the sounds of a woman crying and someone knocking on the door. In the 1980s, a team of paranormal investigators was called in to check everything. They concluded that the room was occupied by the spirit of a young woman who died of a heart attack centuries earlier. The room has been quiet since the investigation, but that's not the only ghost story around these parts. The hotel is also said to be haunted by the ghost of the terrible lizard, nicknamed after a prisoner who starved to death while locked in the fortress. This seemingly peaceful forest at the foot of Mount Fuji has a haunting past. Colloquially known as the Suicide Forest, Aokigahara was the site of an estimated 100 suicides each year. The forest is so dense that many corpses remain undiscovered for years. To make matters worse, the soil of the Aokigahara forest is full of magnetic iron, which wreaks havoc on cell phones, GPS systems, and compasses, making it easy to get lost. So, out of all that, which place do you think is the scariest? Leave your answer in the comments below.